Sweet. So I pulled up your 247 profile, and I saw you had offers from Wake, Purdue, and Vanderbilt, some of the Power 5 ones. So I guess initially, what led you choosing to Wake? Because, I mean, I know those three are all really good academic schools as well as good football schools, so what kind of made Wake stand out?
Well, I guess the big thing was consistency with Wake and the football coaches there. They're not there no more, but it was Coach Clark Lee, who's the head coach at Vanderbilt right now, which is ironic, but he would call me almost like every day, and we'd just talk, but it'd be like things about, like, not even about football and stuff, and I really liked that. Because at first, I didn't really know anything about Wake or where Wake Forest was at or, like, them being the ACC and stuff like that, so it was kind of like it wasn't on my radar, but just because Coach Lee was so consistent in, like, the recruiting process and, like, actually getting to know me, it kind of, like, pulled my attention towards Wake Forest, and then I really loved the campus. It's a beautiful campus. Then after meeting the coaching staff there, everything, like, kind of just came full.
So did you get to talk to Coach Clausen a lot during your recruiting?
Yes, sir. He had an in-home. He did an in-home visit. But actually, he came to my school. Actually, he came to my high school. He saw me there, and then of course, I'm an official. I talked to him. So, like, also, like, of course, he played a big role because he recruited me out of a small town in a small school, which was Humpton, we graduated 44 people, so you can tell how small it is. But of course, like, him giving me that chance was really big too.
Yeah, that is a super small graduating class.
Yeah.
So when you go to Wake, and I guess, like, what's it like? I mean, I guess clearly it's got to be a pretty big difference going from a high school with a 45 kids graduating class to a school, you know, that's in the Power 5, in the ACC, a historic conference. So it kind of, you know, what's that adjustment process like going from, like, okay, like, I'm pretty good. I'm, you know, I'm one of the best high school players in my state, and now I'm playing against Clemson and Florida State, and I'm playing against dudes that are about to be drafted in the first round.
Of course, I mean, I guess, like, socially, it wasn't that bad to get used to, like, Wake, because yeah, Wake's in the Power 5, but they also, like, one of the smallest school in the Power 5. I think the undergrad is, like, a little bit over 5,000 students. So it's kind of like, that's also why I kind of committed there too, because, like, the feel of campus and stuff, it kind of felt very family oriented. But football wise, yeah, it was very different. Like, I was playing against I remember my freshman year we played Florida State, and I seen like Derwin James on the team, and, like, just seeing him, like, take returns and stuff back, it was kind of like, oh snap, like, I'm really in college. And of course Derwin James is, like, one of the better safeties in the NFL now. So just seeing and, like, actually playing against, like, the Trevor Lawrences, the Travis Etiennes, the AJ Dillons, and Anthony Brown whenever he was at BC as well, just playing against them, it kind of, like, was like, dang, like, this is actually, like, a dream come true. So I'm playing against NFL players pretty much, and that's where I hope to be at in the near future. Like, somebody gonna say that about me when they play against me. Like, we played against a linebacker at Wake Forest that was at BG. He's, like, a good NFL player. So just playing against, like, top talent and having that, like, exposure and stuff, it was very big and, like, things that I want to accomplish in life.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess touching on some of your time at Wake Forest too. So I saw in 2018 you had a pretty big game in the Birmingham Bowl against Memphis. You guys won. You guys scored with, like, 20 seconds left to take the lead and win that bowl game. Because no one on Bowling Green really know what's it like, except for the transfers, to play in the postseason. BG's in a pretty bad bowl drought. So what was it like to win that game, and specifically for you to have a big impact in that win?
So we won the Belt Bowl in 2017, of course, but for that, like, I wasn't playing that much that season. So the 2018 season, when they went to the Birmingham Bowl and played Memphis, it's kind of like me being out there and, like, contributing and actually being a part of that win. It felt amazing. Like, just the whole experience, the bowl win, holding the trophy up, and, like you said, like, my impact on that game made me feel, like, really good about myself, and just know that I had a big impact on that game. Like, of course, people want to be involved on the sidelines and all that, but actually being out there on the field, it gives you a different kind of outlook on things, and it makes you, like, don't want to, like, look back. Like, of course, I was blessed enough to where I went to Wake. We went to consecutive bowl games each year, but I couldn't imagine not being at a bowl game, like, in a year. So that's the plan for, like, this year, and I kind of want to transfer here because, like, Wake's in the kind of same story. Like, Wake, when Coach Clausen got there, was a 3-win team, like, consistently, and now they, like, consecutive bowl wins, and we competed for the ACC championship this past year. And BG winning 4 games last year. It would be wonderful to finish my college football career, taking a 4-win MAC team to either a MAC championship or in a bowl game as well. So just knowing what it is to get there and that feeling, I want to experience that with my new brothers now.
Yeah, I love that. And obviously, that's one of the reasons we bring in a guy like yourself in. And, Coach Clawson, what he did at Bowling Green is really similar to what Coach Leffler is trying to do. He's trying to emulate a very similar blueprint where you come in and you take a couple steps back to kind of weed out, bad parts of the culture. You get a little bit younger, but then you build a really good recruiting base. You do things the right way, and slowly, going from a winless 2020 season to then a 4-win 2021 is a pretty good step. So obviously trying to get to a bowl next year is that step. So coming in, what are some of the things culture-wise? Because I know, obviously Clawson did it at Richmond. He did it at Fordham. He did it at Bowling Green. And so then at Wake, he comes in, he implements a certain culture. So can you take us through what that culture is like? And is it like accountability? Is it work ethic? What's entailing there?
It's pretty much everything. So at Wake, we had a motto, you can't like football, you can't love it, you got to live it. So just knowing what it takes to live football, that's going to come with academics, making sure you stay on top of academics so you don't got to worry about missing games or being suspended or any off the field activities. You got to make sure you work hard, which is in practice, and execute right, and make sure mentality wise, leadership, accountability with everybody on the team. It was big on being a captain-led team, so the older guys will always help the young guys and bring them in. Because Coach Clawson, one of the things he did when he first got there, like you said, weeded out the bad guys and stuff. And I was a part my freshman year. I was seeing that process come along, the guys that were on the team that was kind of cancerous to the team, and how they got weeded out of the program and stuff. So just making sure each class knows that what the ultimate goal is, and the culture there stays the same. So he's big on culture. That's one reason why he's so successful in every program he goes to now is just because all the stuff he does with the older guys and the younger guys, making sure everybody's held accountable for their actions and what they do. So yeah.
And obviously this past season, you guys got 11 wins, made it to the ACC championship game. It was really one of the best seasons in Wake's football history. So kind of what was that ride like? And obviously, started out 10-0, I believe, high ranking, talk about a possible playoff spot. So kind of what was that like, that roller coaster of emotions, getting to that mountaintop and just coming a little bit short of the ACC title?
With the talent we had and everybody that came back because of the COVID year, like Sam Hartman said in the ACC conference, if we didn't win 10 games last year, it would have been a disappointment. Even though it's a strong statement, and Coach Clawson will tell you now, I very made him a little antsy because a 10-win season, that's hard to do. I don't care where you at, the Clemsons or the Alabama, that's hard to do a 10-win season. So it's not nobody's entitled to having a 10-win season at all. So for us to do that and execute and make sure everybody, like I said, just is on top of everything, everybody's standing beside each other and behind each other, just having that experience and just getting to those moments, the ACC championship, the Tax Slayer Bowl, and just getting all there is instead of make that a norm at Wake Forest University, a smaller ACC school, put them in a better situation where they are now, and just have everybody just buy into what Wake Forest can be about and stuff like that,
Yeah, and I think that's obviously not on that level exactly, but that's kind of what Bowling Green is trying to establish here. So I guess next, what led to your decision? I mean, you don't have to go into too much detail if you don't want to, but kind of what led to your decision to transfer for your last year, and then ultimately kind of what was the process like going in the portal? Because I know it can be kind of risky. I mean, you're giving up your scholarship and your financial aid and the culture that you've been around for a few years.
So for me, it was kind of more especially, so I got hurt after the 2018 season and the 2019 spring and stuff. So it's kind of for me just make sure that next step in life, which is if football don't work out, because when I came back in the COVID year, I wasn't as productive as I wanted to be. I had a big knee brace on and I couldn't really move, and my confidence was kind of going down and stuff. So I kind of woke me up and realized football don't last forever, So I graduated in 2021 May from Wake Forest University, and Wake Forest being a prestigious college, like my GPA was a little low to get to a grad program, so I was like, okay, like I can't get into a grad program, so I'm taking classes the 2021 season. Like it doesn't mean nothing, so I was like, and I'm not like really having as much production as I want to for this team or my role on the team. I feel like I have a bigger role for another university. So my biggest decision coming into the off season was like I had a checklist. I was like, I need to find a university that I know I can play at. I know I can contribute like the way I want to contribute and stuff and help this team. I need to find a university that's going to accept my GPA and get me into a grad program. I just need to find a university I know like the coaches there are so like straightforward and stuff. So I had a visit scheduled to UTSA the 14th, 15th, and 16th weekend. But I took a visit to Bowling Green like earlier that week. And then for some reason, I guess it was just fate. Like Bowling Green hit all his checkpoints on the first visit, and I'm like, dang. So at that point, it was just like they hit everything I needed to hit. Like I'm getting an MBA here, working on MBA here. The coaches, I love the coaches, like the consistency stuff. Coach Coach Morrison, as you may know him, was very consistent. Talked to my mom, talked to me all the time. Even Coach Leffler talked to my mom, talked to me, and like they could just tell that they wanted me, like they wanted me in this program because they felt comfortable me and like taking a step and helping the program like reach new heights. So I was like, okay, so the football there and the NBA's there, and everything's there. So I was like, what stopped me from committing? So I ended up canceling the visit to UTSA and just committed middle of last week, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I personally, when I went back in high school to visit colleges, when I stepped on a Bowling Green's campus, I definitely felt like that was a place that was pretty friendly, pretty homey. And I guess I'm wondering, did Coach Clausen have like any influence in Bowling Green being on your radar, or is it just happenstance that you're going to the place that he used to coach?
I think it was kind of ironic, and like I guess Bowling Green, they were looking for a transfer linebacker. I was talking to Coach Mo. They were looking for they've been looking for linebackers since last season. So then they had their eye set on this one player for a while, and then like he ended up going somewhere else. And then like when I entered the portal, it was like, okay, like we gotta find somebody. So like I guess it's just ironic how that stuff happened, how that played out. Because at first, like I did forget Coach Clausen. I did forget Coach Clausen coached here a while ago until I got here, and I was like, oh yeah, he was a coach in Bowling Green for a while. And I was like, dang. So like for me, I was like, that's ironic. Like irony how that is.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty funny that you're going to his old stomping grounds,
right.
Kind of bringing some of that culture back here.
Yep.
So joining BG, I guess, like what are you like? I mean, I can kind of already guess what you bring because you're going to be one of the oldest guys on the team that is like crazy young compared to most FBS schools. So it's like, is that kind of the role you're planning and like the experience you bring in as a guy who's, going to be older than most kids and quite honestly has played in bigger games than pretty much every single person on the team?
Yeah, I want to bring my biggest thing this next year is to bring leave a mark on the program I'm at. So like for BG, like I want to leave like a winning mentality on my newfound family. Like cause I played in those championship games. Like I said, I don't see myself not playing a championship game at the end of like postseason. So like that's something that I want to get to. I need to get to for myself as well and as the people around me. Because like. For me, like I've experienced, but it's nothing less I want. Like I don't want to be satisfied with 4 or 5 wins in a season. I want to get to the 6, 7, 8 wins, 9 wins, 10 wins, and all that stuff, and get a championship ring, get a bowl ring, and stuff like that. So I just want to bring in like the winning mentality and the leadership role. Like it's okay, you're an older guy, lead the younger players to do right and stuff like that. So just bringing like a mentality in here that's going to like be set in stone. Like don't settle for less, strive for better.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's something that's needed, and I think that's something that, when Leffler was hired, he had a pretty dedicated culture and mentality of winning and doing things the right way they wanted to implement. But it's one of those things where, in 2020, we were the youngest team in the country, and then last year we had the third most amount of underclassmen. So I think it's really good that we were able to go out and get someone like you that's, been in a Power 5 program and has a lot of game experience to come in and, maybe just set an example for some of the younger guys.
Yep.
So I guess, do you have a favorite game, like from your time from Wake, that you're like, that's my favorite memory, my favorite play, favorite game, atmosphere? Like, did you have one that you could pick out to be like, that was the best?
No, I mean, if I had to pick one, it might have been the Birmingham Bowl game, just because. Well, yeah, it'd be Birmingham Bowl, just because of course, I had a good impact on that game, but also when they missed the field goal, I was kind of like, so me and his name was Demetrius Kemp. He was beside me, and we were just talking like of course they kicked the field goal. They kicked one field goal and made it, but then they got a penalty and had to move back 5 yards. But before the penalty, me and DK was talking, and DK was like, "Watch this," and I was like, "You're not going to make them do nothing. You're not going to make them do nothing." So he like fake jumped and made the offensive line like false start and stuff. So that's the play that pushed them back the extra 5 yards. Like I said, they just made the field goal, but because the offensive line went back 5 yards, and then he missed his second one. So just actually like seeing that, like it's kind of like being in a movie, you know?
Yeah.
So like just that experience right there itself is actually like it's pretty cool. And, like it just had me like, whoa, like I was involved with something like that great. But yeah, probably the Birmingham Bowl game.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's the expectation, I think, and definitely in the locker room, as it always should be. But I also think just realistically, the next step for BG is to get back to a bowl game. Hasn't been there since 2015. So, I'm hyped that we can go out and get a guy like you that's a veteran, can show people how it's done, and then also brings years of being in, one of the best run programs culture-wise in the country. So I'm super excited that you chose Bowling Green to play out like your last year. And yeah, I'm just waiting to see what everyone brings to the table.
Yeah, I know it should be a fun year. I ain't gonna lie to you, just because me being in the locker room and stuff, and just seeing how many like the investment that Coach Leffler has made into wanting to be in the winning program, just seeing all the guys that he's brought in and stuff. I can just tell like that's one reason why I came to. I was telling Coach Mo or Coach Morrison. I don't know, you might know him as Coach Morrison, but like just telling him how like the guys that I was around, you could tell they're hungry. Like Chris Bacon from Georgia State, OJ from Alabama A&M, Ferguson from Kansas. He was in last year and all that. Just seeing all the hunger in those guys' eyes and stuff like just made me know oh yeah, these boys, they want more. Like they want to be more, they want to get more, and they want to have more. So just having all that and just having that hunger is one thing, but putting it all together is another. So just having them pieces. The pieces are there now. Everything's there. So now we got to put everything together, which is what we're going to do in the spring. Then we're going to do in the summer for camp. Then in the fall, it should be a special season. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, it should be awesome. I'll be at UCLA to see you guys week 1, so that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, in a row.
And then I guess,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a historic stadium. First MAC school, I believe, to play in that stadium. So that should be a really cool experience for everyone. And then I guess one last thing. Do you guys, as like a transfer class, is there some sort of camaraderie there? Because I know a lot of kids, your signing class, you guys, they get closer. But then the transfers kind of sprinkle in all from different schools already. And it's kind of different because you guys are in different ages, different stages of life. But is there some sort of all right, all the new guys this year are kind of getting to know each other, or just not really? You'll just kind of see each other when you get, to camp and stuff.
What you mean by that? Like all the new guys?
Like the other guys that are transferring, in your specific class. So it's like Marcelo and Jakari from Cincy, Bronson from Abilene Christian, like you said, Chris Bacon from Georgia State. Do you guys ever talk to each other about transfer life, or is it you know what I'm saying? How sometimes in your recruiting class you get tight knit with those guys.
Oh yeah. So on my official visit when I came to BG, I mean, I had Jakari and Chris Bacon on my they was kind of my hosting, so they went to eat and stuff with us. So I guess just having that kind of close knit, of course we're all transfers, so we have something in common. And of course we talk about our transfer journey and what happened, how did it go for you? Was it stressful and all that stuff? I mean, so we talk about that, but as in a team stuff, everybody, like, that's the thing about BG. Like, everybody close with everybody. Like, people's gonna say hey to whoever. Like, just walking in and just like, hey, your name DJ from Wake Forest? Yes, sir. Yeah, your name DJ. Like, just people come up to me, talking to me, have a conversation with me, and stuff like that. Just shows how close knit the group is as well. Like, of course, like if I first came in, I probably would have been a little shy, like, 'cause I don't know nobody. So I probably like made myself go to those people that hosted me on my visit, which was the transfers, of course. But like I didn't even have a chance to do that because like when I first came into this the facilities and stuff, everybody was coming up to me and introducing themselves to me and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's the way teams should be. All right, DJ. I mean, I appreciate it. I don't have any more questions for you, but I really appreciate you taking the time. And I'm, like I said, stoked to see you. I just think it's hilarious that you're coming from Clawson's, from Wake Forest to Bowling Green and kind of following Clawson's path there.
Yeah, I know. It's very ironic. Like I said, but like me coming, I forgot that he coached at Bowling Green like in the transfer portal process because it was so stressful. I wasn't really thinking about it. But then I got here and I was like, oh snap, he did coach. He was the head coach here. So like, and then of course like I found like myself back to like, I guess kind of like what Coach Left is doing, similar to what he does as well. So I found myself coming back to something like that, you know?
Yeah, like a similar culture.
Yep.
Well, thanks, man. Like I said, I really appreciate your time, and I'm just going to be watching you guys every week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you interviewing me.